Uh, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is SKTV coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Sekou Kene. As always, want to say thank you to all of you for joining SKTV today. Want to encourage you to go ahead and share the show. Today, we are privileged to have with us Mr. Nyowo Scott. He is the son of the former Justice Minister, Councillor Gloria Scott. As you may be aware, we have a lot going on in Liberia, especially when it comes to her case. When it comes to her case, we have heard a lot, we have witnessed a lot. But you know what we call hearing from the horse's mouth. That's exactly what's going to happen today. He is not a different person. He's somebody who is close to the family. He knows exactly what's going on. And if you want to hear the facts, you want to hear the true story, I think there will be nobody better than him giving us the clear picture as to what is actually transpiring in Liberia. I want to say thank you to all of you for following SKTV. We want to do this. Want to play one of the Liberian son here. We got some songs that we can play here that you can you will be actually listening to that while we share the show. This guy is calling me, but no, it's not time to talk on the phone while we already playing for the show. Yes, indeed. Where is that song I want to play? Come on. I want to do something that, okay. Let me just play Jowia's song. Say Jowia is leaving. Let's play Jowia's song. Let Jowia enjoy while leaving.
Amanda, Aweto, Maipuye, Iliberia, Marie, Jovia, Deble,
Striga.
Aha, y'all want to roll the punch of giant ready to take over.
Like
Y'all want to roll beef, Papa come here again. Y'all want to roll Papa Georgie come here again. Y'all want to roll Mama Joe come here again. Rossi, Dishan Kamiegi, Nale wo contre Chayane Kamizo, Victory, better move, I say you're better move, you is about to get away, pulling back to get away, we come here again, who wanna Rossi, Dizzy Kamiegi, young wanna Roger, we are coming again, who wanna Mama Joe, coming again. Open the road, see the shen kami egi. Nale ho kontre chayane kami so. Better move on and roll. Say your better move your more. Take it away. Better get away. We kami egi. We for the winner scheme. We kami egi. Coalition for democratic change. Nale ho kontre champion coming so. You better move on the road. I say you better move your foot. You keep raising get away. Better get away. Yen say I'm on bo, I say I come. At Deble, Mosico corridor. Yen say I'm on bo, I say I come. See the shake your body, shake your body, don't shake your body, shake your body, acha le oh, see your le oh, acha le oh, see your le oh, say, acha le oh, say, we'll celebrate. I wear most to go corridor. Today is I wanna go there. We'll celebrate. We'll celebrate. It's a beautiful day. We'll celebrate. We'll celebrate. Déjà bien already. oh, celebrate. It's a holiday, your moment, oh, celebrate. You be balancing in your way, oh, celebrate.
Liberia.
Y'all hold on 1 second. You keep balancing your way. You keep balancing, you didn't win the election. But today we are going to talk politics, but it's going to be later on. The first segment of our show today is going to be having a conversation with Mr. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, my brother. Nyowo, is that your name? No, is it Nyowo?
Nyowo.
Nyowo. So I'm right. Okay.
Yes, you're correct. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Are you okay in Liberia?
Were you speaking to me?
Can you hear me? Melbourne, can you hear me?
Oh yes, I'm not getting you, but thank God at least I'm getting you now. Due to the internet, due to the break-in, but at least I'm getting you now. I don't know why you're getting me.
Yeah, you are very loud and clear.
Yes. Okay, good.
All right, that's good. And let me say this before anything. I want to say thank you to all of you listening to us via Truth FM 96.1 in Liberia. And to everybody watching and listening to us on the social media, whether it's Facebook, SKTV or SKTV Live, or it's Instagram or YouTube. I want to welcome all of you to SKTV this morning. For me, the time check here is 11:32 in the morning. I know it should be 6:32 in Liberia. And it should be 1:32 in the East Coast, maybe 12:32. Is it 12:32? Maybe 12:32 or 1:32, 12:32 in the Midwest. Wheresoever you find yourself, I want to say thank you very much for following SKTV. I want to encourage you to share the show. We are having this discussion. It's very, very, very important that you share the show, because this is one of the biggest cases in the history of Liberia, because anything involving somebody who is a legal scholar, who have served in several capacities in the country, to be charged, to be incarcerated, to be accused of murder, that is a big deal. On the screen, as you can see, that's our brother, friend, a Liberian, Nyowo Scott. He is the son of Councillor Gloria Scott, Councillor Gloria Musu Scott, the former Justice Minister, Chief Justice, Republic of Liberia. Sir, welcome to SKTV. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. And I want to say first, thank you guys for having me. I'm grateful to be able to have this conversation with your team. I'm also grateful to be able to speak to Liberia, to be able to speak to the Liberians who are still interested on what's going on. Most of you might not be as closely involved in the case, but I would say if you're a true Liberian and you know what's going on, doesn't matter what your political affiliation is, the truth is there. Doesn't matter how many smoke screens you put up and how you muddy the waters, the truth is there. And people know that. So I'm just grateful for being on this show and being able to speak to you all. And thank you very much.
Yeah, so what motivated you to choose SKTV this time around to come and speak out? Why SKTV?
So I look through the page. At times I would follow, what's been going on, and this, I guess we'll say witch hunt, this torturous time frame, a year that we've experienced with, I think some people know who's responsible for this whole thing, and it will all come to pass. We as family members, we've watched the shows, we've watched some of the postings, we've read some of it. So I've come across this channel multiple times, just seeing some of the postings, reviewing, reading comments, and just at times it's unfortunate that we are here. But, so I've kept up with it. I've been on the channels. I've followed the show at times. And I said, I think this will be the best medium to come to. And I'm just so grateful that you guys agree that I can come on and kind of tell our side, because we went for a full 5, 6, I would say the entire year of just propaganda, bunch of lies, nonsense, just stupidity, just stupidness. And we stayed quiet because we waited for the court. All that nonsense they were doing and jumping around and all this foolishness that they put out there. We knew our time was going to come in the court. There are people now being subpoenaed that maybe they might have thought they were against the law or above the law. That we dance it in the court now. But there are a few things that I would like to share with the Liberian people to say it's still risky. My family's freedom, well-being hangs in the balance, and there are people that will get to decide very soon. But most of Liberia, for the most part, have, do not or have not had the full details. So there are a few things I can discuss. There are others that I cannot because, advised by the lawyers that, we keeping something in our pocket for them. We've been soaking there in the court and we'll soak y'all again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Scott. I want to say thank you to our valuable listener. Please share the show. And we are going to have a very, very beautiful conversation here today. Let's do some housekeeping here while we continue with this very important conversation. Like we always do for everybody, for all our guests. You can disagree. You can say that's not true. You can say that's a lie. But there are certain languages, certain wording that are not suitable and are not acceptable for SKTV and for radio. So there are certain things we can say. But once it comes to discussing the issue, you are more than free to say whatever you want to say. And all of you that are watching and listening to us, we want to welcome you once again to SKTV. We are on the radio, just for your information. We're on the radio. We've been listening to pretty much by the entire country because we cover everywhere in Liberia. This particular network, Truth FM, cover everywhere in Liberia. It was like about 13 counties, but now we have an extension. We have another network in Seklepi that covers pretty much the entire country. So now Liberians are listening. Personally, we don't know much about what really happened. So why are you here today? What do you want Liberian people to know?
So first, I'd like to start off by saying again, thank you to the Liberian people for all your support. The ones who, yes, you might not have the specific fact and detail, or might not have been present when on that 22nd of February. But most of you know what my mother represents for the country and what she's done and how she's contributed to the country all across the board, how she served the Liberian people. And we've received support all around. So one of the reasons why I'm here is to say thank you. Thank you for standing with us, the people who stood with us throughout the time. Who are still standing with us, we want to say thank you. The ones who, we all have our opinions, that's your opinion. To be frank, the truth is the truth. So whatever you choose to believe, if that's not the truth, that's what you choose to believe. So we are grateful for it all. And I want to say thank you to Liberia. I also want to touch on a few things about what's been actually going on, and to kind of provide that update to the public, and so because things have been a little quiet. We've had the elections, and that was priority, and that was at top priority for most people, and we have our results. But now we're back to this case, and we're here today to I want to provide some details. But there are some things that I feel needs to be discussed. Because from the information I received, this case will be over in December. That means the jurors will go and make a decision on the future of my family, my mother, and frankly, all of us. So yeah, I just wanted to have that conversation and reach out and communicate with the people. So thank you. Go ahead.
Yes. So when you say your family, you say your mother. So how many members of your family that are actually involved with this case, if you don't mind?
There are 4 family members that are in jail right now going through the trial. But our entire family are involved with the case, meaning however we can contribute to assist, right? And keep in mind is, when you see the document, it is Gloria Maya Musu Scott and the rest of the other 3 versus the Republic of Liberia. You imagine just reading that in itself, right? Knowing we're going against the Republic of Liberia. It's sad, but we're all we have as a family. So to answer your question, we're all involved, the entire family.
So basically, we have about 4 people in jail right now.
Yes.
And how long have they been in jail?
It was since June. It's been this back and forth, and but we're here now. The judge refused to grant bail, as if someone is a flight risk. My mother is not a flight risk. She's never intended to ever leave the country. We've had opportunities way before even this incident. She has access to the world. If she wanted to go somewhere or live somewhere or make a living somewhere, she could have. But Liberia is our land, it's our country. That's where we are. We don't run for nothing. We fight, regardless on whatever it is and whatever mountain we are facing, we fight and we stand there because we have right to that country as much as anybody else in that country. So, the possibility for bail, or the judge decided against that. So now we're in court and we're going through the trial.
Yeah. So before getting into the trial as to where we are, but how are they feeling right? How she doing and how everybody doing? Are they healthy? Are they okay?
They're okay, right? Jail is not a place that people go to have celebrations and have the best conditions in life, right? Nobody wants to be there, but I would say this. Gloria Maya Musu Scott is solid. She's strong. She's in this. She understands what it is and what it's about. It was a sanctioned assassination ordered on the life of my mother. That's what it is. The alleged individuals that are responsible for it are using enormous resources to cover up and put that blame on my family. Our family, all of them. And that's even our Ente Yudet, who's in her 80s. She's strong enough to sit on that stand and speak the truth. So they're doing well, considering the circumstances.
So, did you say they were denied bail? Did you try to bail them out and then they say no?
That was in the very beginning. This case, I mean, we could have went back and forth to court every day we're supposed to. Now, keep in mind, 5 months, the police, right, did their investigation. Every time they would invite us or my family to the police station for questioning, we'll be there. We will go. So there's been never a time to where we refused or we were choosing to run and everything else. But, we respect the judge who ruled that, they should remain in jail until we get through the trial. And so that's where we are right now.
All right, so let's get into the issue currently as is. So you say you wanted to public to know certain things. There are there are things that you can talk about, but there are things that you really want the public to know.
Yeah, right. So I think.
So you have the floor and explain to the Liberian people why you're here.
Yes. Like this radio station, there's been other radio stations that have put out things about us, about my family, about my mother, that is untrue, right? We haven't had that time, I mean, they had months of doing this nonsense to really talk to people so you understand the person who she is, right? The woman who she is and what she stands for. I mean, even if you take away all of her accomplishment of what she's done for the country, right? All of the positions she's held in the country. I want Liberian to know this person as I know her as my mother, right? Who's raised me to become who I am today, to have access to the world. But regardless of all my accomplishment, when I talk to her, oh my, you don't know where I've been, you don't know what some of the places I've done and the accomplishment. One of the things she always said to me is, my son, that's good and well, but you're from Liberia. And what's best for you and what's best for the country is that you give back to the country and you're able to serve your people. She's a loving woman. She's always tried and given her very best to contribute to the country. We from the bush Gribble people. She had the opportunity to make something of herself, and she's reached back and brought along so many of my family members who are now, respective citizens all around the world and are contributing. Chalo was one of those. Chalo came in and my mom sent her to the best school Liberia had to offer. The night that it happened, we were all celebrating of her graduation. Another prodigy of Nyowo Scott was about to graduate and was about to go into the world and represent the people from where she's come from in that part of Maryland, represent the people of Liberia. That's what we were celebrating when their assassins came into our house and killed Chalo. She's a good, loving woman. I want to paint this picture because, and like you say, some people, they have their own beliefs of it, but I can just tell the truth from where it is. That night, I was with my fiance. We had just traveled and she was sleeping. A call came in from my cousin. I hung up the phone and then he called back. I turned the volume off because my fiance was asleep. And then I messaged him, I'm sorry, my man, I can't talk right now because, Nicole's asleep and I don't want to disturb her. And then the messages came through. The people are attacking us and killing us all. But I'm too calm to hear that message, to know your loving mother is actually at that moment when I'm somewhere else on the other side of the world is being attacked. There is a person there to kill them all. As a son, as a human, as somebody that have given so much to this country. Words can't describe how, even now that I'm saying it, how I feel inside. They survived the attack. The intruder got away. Some might argue was let out of there. There are a few things, again, that we have that I would say is some strong evidence that, will come to fruition. But then we lost our sister, our cousin. And while we're grieving, we're being harassed. We're being tortured by these people, the police. I mean, it's been a long year, right? And when you think about it, why are we here, right? Why are we here? Most people do not know there was a case that my mother represented President-elect His Excellency Joseph Boyka. That from that case, he was allowed and he was going to run this election. She fought for that. She represented him as his lawyer, and fought for that. And he won that case to run in this election. There's so many other times, right? I believe that's the reason for the targeting. She represented, again, another Liberian firm in the UK and won against representatives and leaders of the current administration. There's so many things. I think as a Liberian, just as a human, but as a Liberian, she should have the choice to choose who to work with and who not to work with. She should be able to say, I will represent you and I choose not to represent you. Right? And every Liberian should be able to walk that street freely. Okay, but man, you don't want to represent me. Now you're business, go over there, I'll find somebody else. Why is it that you have to target her and try to kill her? I mean, the words, when it comes out of my mouth, are just ridiculous. And that's what I want to talk to the Liberian people about. And have her understand, people understand the person. Because when it comes to her in court, there's not too many cases that she's lost. And people know that. Even some of the people who are involved in this. I mean, come on, it's the saddest thing, but considering the circumstances, we've taken our emotions and we've moved it to the side and we're facing this head on. And thank you, Liberia. And we are here. So, yeah.
So are you suggesting or insinuating that she was targeted because of defending Joseph Nyowo Boakai, Kennedy Joseph Nyowo Boakai, who is now president-elect? That was the reason for being targeted? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So not suggesting or insinuating. My opinion is yes, I say that's the reason. Also, there was a case in London that she won that had to and associated with certain individuals from the administration. Reason as well.
If you don't mind, can you briefly talk about those cases just to clarify her involvement in those cases? Whether the one from London, whether the one involving the
Joseph Boycott, the goal was to not have him run in this election. That was the goal. And that's what the case was about. And that she represented Joseph Boycott in that. And she was successful in having his name on the ballot. They did not want Joseph Boycott to run in this election. They is the other party. I mean, if you want us to say names, I think Liberian people are, you know, sometimes people might think, you know, we're stupid as Liberian, but we're not. Nobody's stupid yet. You know, we're not. We know what's going on. And that's what it was. That was one of the most, for me, that sent the message, right? And there are a few other things. My mother just chose not to associate herself with the others. And that was, it should be her decision and she should be respected on that level.
So when you said, you're not insinuating, you know for a fact that she was targeted because of her state. I just want you to tell us.
No. So what you asked me is, you said, are you insinuating or are you suggesting?
The thing is, I want to know for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't insinuating or suggesting. I was saying that's what it was. Me knowing for a fact of the reason why they targeted her.
How can we justify that? How can you clarify that? Yes, indeed, that was the reason for.
That's for me.
Targeted.
Yeah. For me, I don't have an actual fact, but I'm speaking from my point of view. I'm speaking from my opinion and knowing it is fact that she represented Joseph Boycott to be on this ballot and to be in this election. That's a fact.
So
right?
at what point Joseph Boycott was stopped or was targeted not to be on the ballot? And can you just give me a scenario or case in point wherein
there was a case that happened. And it was before she left the country to represent the other company in the UK. All the specifics on those case, I mean, you know, it can be Googled, we can look it up and you can get the specifics. I don't have the detailed specifics, but Joseph Boycott, the goal was to not have him run for this election. And that's what that case was about. And she participated in that case. They were victorious and they won the case. We can stick on this part, right, for me to provide you specific details, which I don't have. The purpose of why I'm here is to talk to the Liberian people and get into something that is far more important with the trial that is going on now. Yes, it is related to it, and that is the truth. From my opinion, this is part of the reason why she was targeted.
So the reason why I asked that question, because sometimes what we say, carry weight, especially when you come on SKTV, whatever that's been discussed here, people are going to say it was said on SKTV. And we've been following Liberian politics for the past few years. We've been around. So when you said there was a case that was meant to stop Ambassador Joseph Nyowo Scott from being on the ballot, and I cannot, off my head right now, think of any particular case of such. That's why I wanted to have some idea as to which case was that. So that way we can have an understanding. Then the main reason you are here is for us to discuss the case in court. But there are some things that you are now associating with the case. That's why I wanted to know the facts about that. Then we can move, to the other conversation. If you don't mind, then if you mind.
Yes, I don't have the exact details or to share the facts about that. What I'm associating with this case, you asked me, was I insinuating? I said I was specifically saying from my standpoint and my opinion that I believe those are some of the reasons why my mother was targeted, right? Going in and giving the specifics is out there. And if some people are unaware of it, you can look this up and you will see, and people can provide details on it, and the specifics of the case. But it is out there.
So let me just say this, not to cut you, just to provide some clarity. When it comes to the case, the only case that I remember seeing Joseph Nyowo Scott involved with in Liberia during the course of our political upheaval, I think he was actually on the side of the government serving as witness against Alexander Cummings when the CPP fight was going on. So the case wherein Joseph Scott was targeted for not to even be the person to be on the ballot, where he was represented by Councillor Nyowo Scott, I don't remember. That's why I asked, because what I know, Joseph Nyowo Scott was actually on the side of the George Weah government to prosecute Alexander Cummings. Maybe that is not the case you are talking about. If there is,
that's the case I'm talking about. Okay, and there was a relation to that would have involved him being on the ballot. So it's not her. That was that case. She participated in that. Read more into it and look into it, but he was associated with that, and part of that reason is allowed him to be on that ballot as well.
All right. So we'll move forward. Let's make progress. Like I said, I thought it was a different case, but if that is the case, then we know exactly what happened. So we don't need to actually waste our time on that. So in the text message, you said that you believe the jurors are somehow being compromised.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
It's facts again that the lead prosecutor, after the daily trial, right, when everybody went home, returned on site at where the jurors were being held and visited them multiple times. He admitted to it. Of course, and again, I open this up by saying I'm grateful to the Liberian people, because there had to be someone from even their own group that had to have spoken up and made the judge aware, made other people aware that, hey, this man is coming after the court, there's closed after hours, and contacting and meeting with these people. Now, when the investigation was done, he and all his people said, oh no, he just met with the securities to check on the people. Why? Why do you need to check on the jurors? Why do you need to go after? This is somebody who's been practicing his profession, the law profession, longer than I've been alive. Don't you know that's 101, that you do nothing around that? Why are you doing that? Right? And those are the same people, the jurors are the same one now that, again, from my opinion, have been compromised. You know, if this man had access to them as much as he wanted, if it wasn't by the grace of God that someone would have spoken up and said, yo, this man is visiting these people every time or as much as he wants, then nobody would have known that. Now we know. Why is it they're still deciding the fate of my family?
So, when you say they are compromised, just based on your opinion, right? There's no fact to substantiate that.
Based on my opinion.
Do you have any fact to substantiate?
The fact that I have was his own testimony that he did go there after hours, right? But my opinion is, if you're going, what else he's going to play Mao up there to do Checker or Lulu? What is he going to hang with them? Why does he go like everybody else? Why does he have to go there after hours? I believe that they've been compromised, and nobody's stupid here, man. Liberian people, we all know you're going after hours to the jurors. Why? What's your purpose? What is your purpose of going there? It's common sense, and yes, it's my belief, my opinion. Yes.
So, according to you, the case should be decided by December, right, or in December?
That's from the information I'm receiving. It could possibly end in December. Yes.
And according to you, you said that she got into this problem, or she was targeted because of her stand to support Joseph Nima Boakai, to defend Joseph Nima Boakai. Now that Joseph Nima Boakai is elected, somebody will say this guy is speaking the way he's speaking just to gain sympathy from Joseph Nima Boakai. How do you respond to that?
No. So to gain sympathy from Joseph Nima Boakai, no, that's not what we're speaking. We fought the kids on our own in court, right? Before the Liberian people decided who they wanted to be the president of the country, right? We were fighting this in court. I'm speaking, the way that I'm speaking now is not to, well, His Excellency Joseph Nima Boakai is a Liberian citizen. So, right, if you want to be technical and say, if I'm speaking to all of Liberians and he's included, but it's just sharing light on what has transpired and also trying to point to the unfairness. For example, you know, we sat here and you wanted me to be specific on the case that had to do with how Joseph Nima Boakai was linked to, right? But there are some other things that I want to speak about, the unfairness of how far this case have come. You pushing for facts and detail. It is a fact that, you know, months on their radio station, they were putting out all of this nonsense. What was the motivation behind it, right? You hear stupidness, oh, the woman can't have children, that's why she took Chalo in. All this nonsense all over the radio, those are facts. We have recording, we have proof. We have a copy of all of those, right? So you do all of this, then you delay providing the evidence. That's facts. Those are facts. You do all of this, then you come back and say, oh, I want to move this out of Morovia. That is fact. Right? That is fact.
So, you know, like you said, while the case is in court, there are things you can say, there are things you can say. But in a court of public opinion, there is problem understanding as to what actually transpired that night. And you were not there, but you believe that you were told somebody came to assassinate the entire family, but one person is the victim. Also rest. Can you explain to, or do you know exactly what happened that night? Can you explain to all, even though you were not there, why were you vividly as to what actually transpired that night? and led to the death of the lady. What happened? What happened?
Right. So I think I understood you. The signal seemed like it was going in and out, but I think I understand what you asked is to explain what I think happened or what happened, right? You already established that
Now what you think, what you were told, because
yes.
I told you why the incident was
Right.
told.
Yes.
So explain to me what they told you that really happened and how it happened that led to the death of the young lady.
An assassin came into the house and at night chose to attack and stab to death. The goal was, we believe, you said what I think. There are things that I was told, and also what I'm speaking now involves also my conclusion, right? What I was told is there was a person in that house that attacked and killed Chalo, but the target was Gloria Nyowo Scott.
Yeah, but well, how can we justify that?
It's being justified in court. Now, again, as I mentioned to you, there are things that, of course, I can't share, but what I can share is, again, I'm on this show, right? You asked me, why am I here? I'm here to talk to the Liberian people. I'm here to say some things that has been unfair, right? And provide that. We all know, and then maybe I can't speak for you, but I can speak for myself. I wasn't there at that time. To give you the exact specifics, and what I was told is someone came into the house, someone attacked my family. We all believe the target was Gloria Nyowo Scott. And our cousin, our sister died in that.
Okay.
That attempt.
Yeah, so my next question to you, do you know the structure of this residence? How is it in a fence? And is it just a gated fence? And if so, what about the main door? Any security officers in that building, in a whole residence? I mean, just those are the kind of little things that I want to understand. That would give a picture as to what really transpired, or whether or not somebody within the house was compromised, or no, they just came there. And because if there was security, assassin came in, they might have harm or do something, or they did something to the security, and also break into the house. I mean, I just want to understand what really happened. I could tell that this was an assassin. This was not something that happened from within. How can we explain to convince a layman this is not an occurrence from within? This is something. This is somebody that came from outside and came to assassinate, the counselor.
Yes.
Explain to us the structure of the building.
So, all right.
How the whole thing looked like, that could actually make you to understand, yes, indeed, this was an intruder. It was not something that really happened from within.
Okay. So I will, and I'll respond to that. Looking at and listening to their radio stations, right? Even some of the police saying that this place is a fortress, right? The fence is so high, nobody can climb the fence. The house is far more protected than even the president's house. That's not true. There's a cornerstone next to the fence that somebody can step on and look over. There are trees along the fence that people, if you want to get into the yard, you can climb that fence and get into the yard. Okay. So that puts that kind of puts that to bed. You talked about the security. The funny thing is, the security was the quote unquote has been one of the witnesses for the prosecution. So saying that, oh yeah, well, you guys had security. The same security man said he was standing to the window and he could see from his viewpoint through a cement wall 20 feet down from where he was standing. He said he used cutlass to cut the metal bar, something that would break if you were to try to cut it. He said he used one arm. He's a strong man. He just opened it like Superman. So I'm saying that to say is, if we speaking about the security, there are facts, and that will come out that they've been compromised as well. But that's coming out very soon. There are people being subpoenaed right now, and things are going out, and people are going on the stand to talk about for some facts and some details that happened in connection to that security. Also, think about the location of where that security place is within a close proximity to someone who's also been alleged as the mastermind of this whole thing. So I will come back again to say, just by saying, oh, the place had security, so nobody could have gotten in, I believe the security was working with them. The house, you can get into the house. The house is not a fortress. My mother did do her very best to protect herself after the very first, 2, 3 that took the license plate and attempts on the house. And she was on the radio, telling the public that she believes that someone is after her. And she attempted to protect herself, meaning how she wanted to fortify the house. But the house is big, but it's unfinished. There are multiple ways of getting there, even from the roof. We had our team of investigators that came on site from the United States, from UK, Ireland, and did a clean sweep. They too will be testifying. We too will be providing those evidence, DNA and samples and stuff that the government said they did, and had their experts. Someone who's supposed to be a pathologist representing the government cannot say from a DNA that it was a specific person. All he can say is, oh, all I can tell you is a woman chromosome. My man, you're looking at DNA and you have all of this experience and you can't say that the specific person, or you can say there were women in the house. But it's okay. Our report is coming, and science don't lie. Science shows the facts. So, yeah, there were multiple ways of getting into the house. There were multiple ways of getting over the fence. And from my opinion, the security, they were compromised. And that will also be proof.
If you don't mind, how many security are we talking about here? Just 1 or 2 or 3? Or they were all compromised? How many people? Do you know?
So there were, for me, I think from their testimony, my opinion is from the testimony, I would say all of them, but specifically those 2 that went on the stand, I say they were compromised.
Let's go to Sarah. Sarah, do you have a question?
Yes, Mr. Kane, thank you very much, and welcome. So let me say good evening to all our SKTV family, and they have met in my statement that I've been with me and the most beautiful women. Yes, having sat here and listening to you, I want to know how many people was in the house that night when the intruders break in.
The 4 individuals that were charged, including the intruder, that would make them 5. But the thing is, your question that you ask is when the intruder broke in, right? I wouldn't say I'm responding to you. I wouldn't say that they were in the house when he broke in. My belief is he was already in the house. He has slipped in through there are multiple means of getting into the house. And he was already in there when they decided to go to bed and lock the doors and thought they were safe on the other side. So he had gotten into the house during those times of where the car came. When my mother came home, they had to load the groceries into the house. The car park on the other side, someone can slip in anyway. Somebody can wait in the trees at night. Someone, especially if you're working with the security, right? There are so many ways. But to answer your question, how many when he broke in? I don't believe they were in the house when he broke in. I believe he was in there already and waiting for his best time.
So my next question is, how many rooms are in the house? And do your sisters share room?
My cousins?
Yeah, do they share room?
Yes, but I mean, they're sisters, so yeah. From the side that it was on, I would count 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms. Yes.
So, Mr. Kane, in regards to the case that he earlier mentioned, that I don't know what kind of people you claim that they wanted Joseph Boyka on the presidential, ticket for Boyka to appear to run. What kind of case are you talking about? And do you have substantial evidence to that case?
No, I do
Or
not
in
have
regards to
substantial.
what you
I don't have substantial evidence to the case. If that's the end. Again, as we discussed a while ago, those are my opinion, and I believe that too has something to do with it. Also, there was a case in London that involved the cell phone companies with connection again to the administration. Those were it. In addition to that, the same administration have come to my mother and asked her to run as a vice president for them, along with the current president. She refused. Um, there are times that they invited her to represent them on the case to remove a judge. She refused. She's been invited to a presidential speech. She refused to go. I think all of these things contributed to where we are right now. And I think even if she chooses not to associate herself with certain group, that's her right as a human, that's her right as a Liberian. I would say, I against some of my other family members that I was a supporter, I am a supporter of CDC, right? But I guess as I'm going through this right now, the child and I here with feed because I'm feeling that, so supporting that group. It's sad. It hurts. I have friends that are in the administrative that I reached out to and just share raw emotions. The night it happened, I was calling everybody, friends, family member, people who I can reach and say, please help. My family is under attack. Even our current president, I have, I follow everything that he does, and I went onto the Instagram page and try to call from there, just reaching out whoever I can. There were a few friends that answered, and some people contributed, sent me stuff, say, hey, I've sent some people over there. I've done all of this. But yeah, so if you want to ask the specifics, going back, there are so many things that showed that, for me, I believe, because of her refusal to associate herself with CDC, that's why we're in this.
So, let me jump in quickly, if you don't mind. You think your mom and the family was targeted? Who are you accusing of targeting your family in this case?
We don't know yet. We're still waiting on the facts. And because again, right, unlike the other side, right, they were already saying, they thought my mom was responsible for the death of Chalo, pretty much a daughter to her that she's raised, and this woman is about to graduate from college. Her whole life is ahead of her. They were saying it was her. For me, how we was raised is to see what are the facts. Someone is responsible. There are people out there that are responsible for it. We've all heard all of the rumors and everything else, but if there's no facts, there's nothing that we can say for sure points to that, then I can't speak to say I believe is this person or that person. Someone is responsible, and it's not my family.
When you speak on that, by how case he was to be stopped from running.
You were breaking up. I'm listening. Say it again. Please repeat yourself.
Yeah. So when you reference the case wherein Joseph Boakai, the former vice president, was targeted and
targeted.
Yeah, Joseph Boakai to be stopped from running for president. And you say your mother also represented, another case in London that was also against the Liberian government, also official of the government, correct?
I believe so. There are links to that company. right? I know I'm not going to name anyone because we don't have facts to show proof on the hardcore evidence that this individual did it. And I believe it will come out. That's one thing about the truth, and there's one thing about science. There's also one thing about traces being left. If you've made phone calls, if you sent text messages, if you communicated with certain individuals and security people and all of those things, it can point to in a certain area. As of now, I don't have proof, and I will not sit here and say a certain person's name until it's for sure.
Okay. So who was she representing in that case in London? Who was
she was representing a cell phone company going against the other cell phone company.
So how can you imagine that she will be taken because you represented another cell phone company versus the other? So are you insinuating that the cell phone company was the one, targeting her for representing the other company in London?
I believe there is a link to that case, right? I've also mentioned other reasons why I believe it's so, right? I see you're focused on the Joseph Boycott mentioned, you're focused on the cell phone company. Yes, they're associated with people in the government. We don't know for sure yet, but the facts will come out, and it will come out. And I wouldn't need to sit here and say names and name individuals, but that's one thing about the truth. The truth never goes away.
Okay, let me say this. The reason why I'm actually pushing you, to actually give us some specificity about these allegations. When you made mention of your involvement with the CDC, this group and that, clearly, all your allegations is directed to the CDC government, making it to look like it is CDC government that actually targeted your mom, and even in this case, it is the CDC government that is trying to make sure she is convicted. I'm just being straightforward. Is that the insinuation? Is that the allegation or not?
So my issue that I have is this has been unfair, right? It's been unfair from even when we deal with the police on how they've interacted with us, how we've been treated. Even the first time she was held without charge that day, right? How they treated us as family and representatives, representatives from the same group and their affiliation with the radio station, how we've been treated. So the issue that I really have with that is how unfair it's been, and it's been from what I believe is this administration that should be protecting and being fair to everyone that's within the administration. So yes, that's my issue. And as I mentioned before, I've reached out to friends who are in the administration and say, and this is so unfair, like listening to their radio station, listening to all the stupid allegation, boyo this, and the woman can't born child, the woman can't do this, all type of nonsense over there. That comes from the same administration that affiliates with them. So that's my issue with it. Until we can have the facts and proven, the government came out and say they have beyond reasonable doubt evidence. We haven't seen it yet. Beyond reasonable doubt evidence. What they are going on is saying, well, those were the only people in the house and there were no intruders. What happened to your analysis of the data of the DNA? What happened to everything that is on the scene that you can take to the lab and you can show proof? The experts that they bring sits in court and say, all I can say from what I saw was it was all woman chromosome. DNA is specifics. Fingerprints are specific. Fingerprint points to a certain individual. You can do that, right? As somebody who's a pathologist for the government, right? So I'm saying all of this is, you're not showing us anything solid. but you are building this narrative like my family is responsible. So to come back to what you're saying, what is my issue? That's my issue with the group that I had associated myself with and believe that is for the people, that is fair to every Liberian citizen.
So in this case,
Yeah.
you know, there will be allegations and counter allegation, accusation here and there. In the final analysis, is the justice system to make the final decision. Do you trust the justice system of Liberia?
Yes.
Do you
I
think
trust the people.
do
Go
you
ahead.
think justice will be administered fairly?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you breaking up.
Do you think justice will be administered fairly?
I pray that justice will be administered fairly. My purpose of being on your show,
You say you trust the system?
to an extent, I do. I feel so much better now, to be honest. We're here, and all the facts that the government said they had was, I mean, poor circumstantial facts. And I trust the truth will come out. I also want to mention that I believe, my opinion, that the jury was compromised. There's no reason why Councillor Nyenti should be going on site to speak with the jurors. Why does Councillor Nyenti needs to go on site and speak to them? Why does he even need to go anywhere around them? Why does he even need to speak to the securities? Why does he even need to be there? He doesn't. That's my fear, but I believe in the Liberian people. The Liberian people have sent a strong message to our country, to the world, and to Africa that we stand for the truth. We're people of integrity, regardless of if other people are running around thinking we're stupid. We're not, and we sent that message just recently, and we'll send it again. So, to answer your question, I believe in the justice system, and I believe they will do the right thing. I too wanted to just share with the world that the details or some of the facts, and how it's just been just flat out unfair treatment, from the current administration,
I'm going to go to Saros, and what we're going to do right after Saros, I will still give you the opportunity to say whatever you want the Liberian people to hear. And then we will be letting you go, because we already hit the 1 hour, threshold. So after we Cyrus asks his questions, I will give you the opportunity to explain anything that you wanted the Liberian people to know. Then we will transition to go to our political discussions, if you don't mind.
So, no
Cyrus,
problem.
go ahead, ask your question.
Yeah, Mr. Kanye, let me just, because I mean, like, the brother is right to express himself, but I don't think he has any evidence, like substantial evidence, to all of his claims. But I have just one last question. And my question has to do with, how did the deceit, your soul sister, the girl we're talking about in question here, who is dead, how did she got in the way of the assassin?
Okay, so it was established already, right, that I wasn't there that time of the night, right? To give you the specific on her movement and how she got in the way, I don't have, like you said, that substantial evidence to show proof. But from the information I received, the attack happened, he came out, and whoever was there, he started attacking that person. She engaged him, and that's where it was.
The information from who?
For my family, of course, sir. It wouldn't be from the police officers or the other side.
So it was just the deceit. It was just the deceit that engaged the assassin.
So I'm sure you had information too.
What I'm asking the question is this, because if an intruder break into a home, it will not just be one person who will get the noise. And even in the process of fighting, I think your mom will wake up your other sisters, because, like you said, there were 4 people in the house, and the assassin or the intruder make it 5. So in the process of tussle, people might hear the noise in the house and come out. So that's what I was asking. I mean, like during that period.
That's what happened. So that's what happened. And some of the details that's already been out and established that also AC was injured in it. So it wasn't one person that that had some injuries, right? AC was injured. And to get through had a cut in her palm, right? So it wasn't just one person that was involved and engaged. So yes, people were awake. Right? You heard about the person being pepper sprayed. So it wasn't just one person engaging, the whole group. It was life and death.
Okay. I think so far that's all. That's what I have. Mr. Kane.
Yeah, so Mr. Scott, once again I want to say thank you for coming to SKTV, and I can tell you we are here, we are open anytime you're ready. Any new information, feel free to call us. We will bring you on. But before you go, let me ask you, is there anything you wanted to share with Liberian people that we did not ask, that you haven't said? Anything for that matter that you want Liberian people to know before we let you go?
So I'm here to thank the Liberian people. Thank you for the support. Because even though we've experienced and even my mother from the, her career and what she's done and how she's contributed to the country, this whole propaganda and everything and the individuals behind it and the resources that was used to damage her character, there's still individuals and Liberians in the country that have supported us along the way. We're grateful for it. Thank you so much. We're here, and we're coming down to the end of it all. It's been unfair, but we're here now, and we trust the Liberian people will get to see and would know. And there are more things to come out. There are more testimonies. Now is our turn. We're putting people on the stand. We're subpoenaing people, and some of it will be in the news. The police director is supposed to be going to testify too and get on the stand and answer questions. So there are a lot more that's coming, lots of development. And I'm just here to say thank you to you all for listening. We all have our opinions, but the truth is the truth. My mother is innocent. My family is innocent. And we're showing that, we're proving that in court. And we just ask that we hope and we look, and I trust in the judicial system and the justice system of the country. But I just wanted to reach out and say thank you and shed light on some unfair treatment.
So my last question to you, we don't know how the verdict going to be like and what is going to be the verdict. We don't know. But assuming, because in a case, either be acquitted or be convicted. I wish you and your family well. But assuming there's a conviction, will you expect President Joseph Nyowo Boakai to pardon and free her? Since in fact she was
no, I don't. If that happens, God forbid, we have the Supreme Court. We can file an appeal. We still believe in the legal system of the country, and we will go as far as we can to free my mother. We're not looking for handouts. Our family, my family is innocent.
Will you be happy if Joseph Boakai, if God forbid, like you said, I don't want to see anybody going to jail. But should we have a conviction? Do you expect Joseph Boakai? Will you appreciate Joseph Boakai pardoning her and the family?
I would not expect Joseph Boakai to pardon my mother because I believe my mother is innocent, and I expect that the individual that will be deciding on their future will do the right thing. My mother is innocent. I want her out. So yes, I will be happy when she leaves that place. I'm not expecting anything from the president-elect. We have a capable team, and I trust in that capable team that will get my family and will make them free. So nothing, no handout of which I'm looking for. However they come out of there, I will be happy, yes.
Have you spoken to the president-elect to congratulate him since the election?
No, I haven't spoken to the president-elect to congratulate him since the election. As I mentioned before, right, I'm a supporter of the other party, right? And is sweet, bitter, bittersweet. So, but one thing that I'm happy for is the Liberian people coming together and saying that we stand for something, and sending a message across the country, sending a message to the continent and to the world. So that I'm happy for. You know, is again, it's bittersweet, but this is where we are. No, I haven't spoken to the president-elect.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much. Unless you
Thank
have
you.
to say, I will give you the opportunity to make your parting comment, whatever it is. It's up to you.
For me, I think I've already made my part and comment. I thank you guys very much. Brother Cyrus, thank you too for your questions as well. You know, we're coming down to the most important time, and there are information and things that will be coming out soon that we'll all get to see, and the Liberian people will get to see. So thank you again, Liberia. We're in this. And we intend on fighting it to the very last minute. My family is innocent. My mother is innocent. My cousin is innocent. My aunties are innocent. And the truth will set them free. I strongly believe that. And I thank everyone.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You can come again whenever you deem it necessary. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Bye.
So, Cyrus, once again, thank you. Folks, thank you for sticking around. Something happened. I'm not sure what it is. I think the radio people were scared because of this is something that had to do with government. So it looks like the radio people, yeah, I think they really put the shit and say it's going to Celine Dion or Zilly Tule, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the radio people. I've got made more over and over because it's like a no call, no show. I want to know what happened. And if this is a normal technical problem, they will be reaching out to tell me. But the way the case came, the way the guy started, the nonsense and the stupidity and the lies and about the government and something, I believe that might have contributed to the people running away.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that's not the case. But we want to say thank you to all of you for sticking around. We're going to be talking politics here. The politics here is that in Liberia, we used to say there is fire in Soweto. And there is a real fire in Soweto. Because I talk about fire in Soweto, Steve show up. Why is there fire being in?
Oh, I was in a meeting. I was in a meeting. I didn't expect to run this late. I really wanted to come on, but I missed the interview. But hopefully next time I can be on time. The meeting, unexpectedly.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay. So when I say fire in Soweto, there is a serious problem between and amongst Unity Party and the supporters and decision makers. First, what happened yesterday when you listen to Stanton Witherspoon, the advisor campaign financier to Joseph Nyowo Scott? They feel like they did all the work and Amara Kone came and took the glory. They are bitter about that. They're angry about that. They're angry about who's supposed to take credit for what happened. And informations that were going to Stanton yesterday, we have insider information that they were coming from some key player within the Unity Party that kind of feeling agitated, thinking that Amara Kone has taken over. Amara Kone has a very close proximity. And not only that, Amara Kone now has the president-elect's ear. So they are afraid that they may be close to the former vice president, now president-elect, but it seems like Amara Kone is stealing the show. So they feel paranoid, they feel angry, they feel like Amara Kone is the one now going to be helping the president, Joseph Nyowo Scott, to make decisions. When you hear him yesterday, we are about to be certificated, you got to focus on your senatorial position, on the group of Bapolu County. You know, you're not supposed to be, you're not be in the Senate, you should not be in the executive, the legislature, in the executive, all those things. You know, many times he spoke of Mo Ali. Mo Ali or Amos Chue supposed to be the spokesperson for this. They are afraid. They feel like Amara Kone is stealing the show. They feel like they have done all the work and Amara Kone is taking over. So they are afraid. And now there is a speculation. Like we said before, all these people, they know very well that Joseph Boakai was not in a good, healthier condition. And their belief is Joseph Boakai will soon go for a surgery. Their belief is Joseph Boakai may not earn his first term, he might resign, tend to his health. Their belief is Joseph Boakai will soon be incapacitated. Incapacitated means that he may not be able to discharge the function of a president due to health condition. They know that. So the fear now is if giving Amara Kone that close proximity to the president, President Joseph Nyowo Boakai, and Amara Kone now being somehow looked at by many by many Liberians, especially the grassroots of the Unity Party. They are looking at Amara Kone as the face of the Unity Party. So people are jittery, people are getting uneasy, people are getting confused, gossip is going on because they feel like Amara Kone is smarter, Amara Kone is experienced, Amara Kone is more connected to the outside world than the vice president. So the fight for power, the fight for position, the fight for proximity is in the Unity Party as we speak. And they are sending the messages, the information to State of Witherspoon to attack Amara Kone, to disrespect Amara Kone. Guess what? I don't care about who's still on attack. The reason we are talking about it is that it is our responsibility. What's only going on, we see it, we know it, we come with positive Liberian people. Amara Kone is part of their team. Amara Kone is part of the State of Witherspoon and their group. Whatever happened between them happened is not our prerogative. But the reason why we are talking about it is because this is too soon. Just yesterday, Amara Kone was celebrated. Now today, Amara Kone now is the bad man. Amara Kone now is they call him now, instead of calling him now, like they call him Russia Mo or Russia Miller, all kinds of names being put on him now. And also, Steno also said that I'm not going to lie, that it was not, a lot of things I'm not going to say. He said, I'm not going to lie. Whether it was about the car accident, whether it was who actually gave the scholarship. And one of the most important things I want to get your brain on is that when American pushed, he said the scholarship for members of the Situation Unity Party's Alliance Situation Room only. And if this is how they're going to start their own government, then that'll be very scary. If this scholarship was given by the Chinese government to the incoming administration, and you are saying is for United Party people only, that's scary. So, Steve and Saros, why are you surprised that the Unity Party people already started fighting among themselves for position for leadership as to who gets what position?
Well, Mr. Kane, let me first of all clear out what people with me as always. Let me recognize the Liberian people as the most important people on earth. But let me recognize the Liberian women as the most beautiful women on earth. First of all, like you said, the issue of Amara Kone and Sandon Witherspoon and the Unity Party, we're only discussing it because it's part of the bigger picture of the Liberian body politics. But whether the Amara Kone, whether they belong, Yombly or whoever it is, they got a relationship with Stanton and they have the right to have it. That's not our issue to determine who be friend with who. We'll not get problem with that one. Bottom line here is, first of all, I had a serious concern with that post that I don't know if there was a stipulation from the Chinese embassy or the Chinese government that this scholarship should only be restricted to people who supported Jose Yuman Boakai or to just the administration. I don't know what processes or what steps they're going to use to ensure that Liberians benefit from this scholarship, because at the end of the day, it's a goodwill by and from the Chinese government to help build capacity and enhance our people's ability or equip them from a professional standpoint. So I don't know what measure, what stipulation they're going to use. However, we look forward to it being equally distributed so that Liberians can benefit. Because when Liberians benefit, all of us benefit, and it will do the country good. So I hope they will do what is right, right? But this is scholarship business. If they're not careful and they don't handle it well, it could lead to some trouble. It could lead to some problems. Because there could be some people who are hoping on it to enhance their education, that will benefit the country. So the scholarship is one of the issues. The issue of Amara Kone and these guys, I see some people saying, "Oh, you follow Spoon and you do this, you do that." Let me tell you something today. All of us who do shows, all of us who have all these stations, whether you follow the people directly or indirectly, whether you watch them live or not, we have the opportunity to listen to them. Because after the show is played, people get, snippets here and there, and they post it in different chat rooms. Some people send it out, whatever it is. You don't necessarily have to be following live. Like how some of you jump from one political show to the other, from one Facebook live to the other. People got life. You understand? We got things that we do apart from the show. And if we come across any kind of video or any kind of situation, we'll talk about it. That relates to Liberian, we'll talk about it. We will. Unlike other people who are afraid or who might say, "Oh, when I call the person, me will get it relevant," or whatever it is. I want the issue. But the issue here is Amara Kone is a grown man. He knows what he's doing. Whatever fight or whatever misunderstanding that is brewing within the Unity Party or the government that have not even been seated yet, it will come to light. And we predicted here that CDC were going to be destroyed from within, and today we see it happening. So for the Unity Party, like I said on Saturday, we'll make our prediction as to how the Unity Party will be destroyed. But we will wait for this. We'll wait for this weekend to do that because we're putting some pieces and some puzzles together, folks. Whether you like it or not, whether you support this government or not, there seems to be some serious in-house fighting that they're trying to manage and put under control. However, the president-elect Joseph Yuma Boaga does not have, does not have a record of managing conflict. He doesn't. And so if care is not taken, this could blow out of proportion. He is dealing with people. The current president-elect Joseph Yuma Boaga is dealing with people who supported him, majority of them, because they think or they felt they could exploit him and exploit the Liberian people through him if he wins the election. These are power greed people. These are people who want to insert themselves and want their will to be done. And so once they see somebody coming around, they will become protective, jittery, and it will lead to some problems. It will lead to confusion. It could even create inner problems, whether within the Unity Party or with other parties who collaborated with them or other alliances. These are not things that can be ignored. These are all facts. And the sooner you start to come to terms with reality and ensure that you caution the Unity Party to handle these things, because these are internal fights. You have not even faced the external ones, which are the other opposition that will be to this government. You not even face that one in your own internal fights. Some of you are there, oh, you're jealous, oh, you're mad, oh, you're wishing for the government to not do well, and you're wishing for this, and you're wishing for that, and you're wishing for this. Look, my friend, say what you want to say. Say what you want to say, but don't ignore facts and realities. We're seeing the signs. These things are brewing, and let's not ignore it. Let's not play deaf ear to it. If I were you,
Steve, you just mentioned something very important. Let me just ask you this question, then you can conclude your statement.
Sure.
You mentioned something about the mindset that they believe that they will control, manage Joseph Numa Boakai. Now to see somebody coming closer that will seem genuine, that may now somehow allow or be a part of that kind of conspiracy theory to only benefit themselves and forget about the country. If Amara Kone is seen to be as an obstacle to that mindset, then obviously everything going to go against him. But my question to you now, Steve, whether it's the Standard Witherspoon, whether the Mo Ali, or all the other guys that are running behind Joseph Numa Boakai, which one of them can really be compared to Amara Kone when it comes to experience, knowledge, and connection? That when they scare Amara Kone away from Joseph Boakai, don't you think they are doing that at the detriment of Joseph Boakai and the country? Because Amara Kone could be an asset to Joseph Boakai, even though he's in the legislature, but it could be a huge asset to Joseph Boakai when it comes to connection, whether it's World Bank, whether it's IMF, or the international community, because Amara Kone have served in so many capacities, not only in Liberia, but outside of Liberia, that could be used, that could be useful for Joseph Numa Boakai for the country to benefit. But if they scare Amara Kone away, Amara Kone say, you know what? Let me lead up with your thing. Let me go to my legislature where I was elected for 9 years. Do you think that will hurt Joseph Numa Boakai?
First thing first, let me say this. Let me say this to the United States people. Let me say this to those who support Amara Kone. Let me say this to those who support Joseph Numa Boakai and quote unquote alliance. Amara Kone is not Dillon. Amara Kone is the experienced, connected, educated, far-sighted version of Senator Dara Dillon. So you don't want to screw around with him. You don't want to fool around with him. In fact, fooling around with him will mean you're shooting yourself in the leg. The fact that you're walking Amara Kone around, you'll manage the situation. Because Amara Kone could be a serious pain in the butt. It could seriously cause your administration some serious problem. And maybe the one that you're already waiting for you. The one that waiting for your own part will not get there yet. I will caution the Unity Party. Let me say again. Manage the situation with Amara Kone. Don't fool around. Amara Kone is not Costa. Let me say again. Amara Kone is not Dillon. I will say it again. Amara Kone is not Costa. Amara Kone is not Dillon. Amara Kone has earned his stripes. He understands some things. And the best part about it, he is connected out of Liberia in Liberia. You all manage this. Amara Kone is not Samuel Tuet. He is not Nathaniel Madio. You all manage this. The fact that you brought him in and you all use his connection and influence to win the election. You all manage this. You all manage this. You don't put your foot in your mouth. You all manage this. You all can fight us out. But the people that inside that know what's up, you don't want to fool around with them. You all lead the American and Benin. You just enjoy the winning, your kind of power, and you all lead the American thing. You don't go there. You don't go there. The last part I want to say is this about the whole American thing in the country. They can do nothing. And the fight with American can never be won on Facebook or popularly or the other person can't talk, the other person can't talk. It will not be won that way. It will not be won that way. Y'all be careful. This could be generated to something that you're never expecting.
So Steve, did you read American response his page?
No, I read it too, Mr. Connor. I know what it meant in the messaging.
He said leadership and success have a price, especially in a predatory, corrupt society where most people, where most political actors and pundits are compromised and abandon and abandon the kids who help make them, not me. More help to come from my team. I am an independent politician.
Okay, Mr. Kane, Mr. Sekou Kane. Let me say this. Remember the election night? We had a show and I said something about Amara Kone and I said something about Alexander Cummings, but then I mentioned Amara Kone. I'm not going to go into that today.
You did that. I remember that.
I said something about 2029. Let me say this. Let me say this to the Unity Party people. In fact, Amara Kone has not even identified himself as a Unity Party partisan. If you really look at it, truth. Please, and not everybody is a fool. Some people there, you just make peace with them and you move on for the sake of your own benefit. It will do the Unity Party and their alliances will do themselves well if they leave the whole American and Benin and focus on what they want to do. And focus on the Liberian people and what they want. Your leader drama, it will not end up well. Like I told you, Lawrence that time, I'm saying it again. Your leader drama, it will not end up well. Many of you will be exposed. It will create problems, and it will create serious problems. I will leave it right in the comment. I will run and I will follow the.
Thank you, Taros. So, where you think this whole thing could lead to, based on the fact that Joseph Boagai is somebody who doesn't talk, who doesn't speak, to anything, who does not control his people. You think Joseph Barker will sit by and allow people to continue to attack Amarakone, to disrespect him in the manner in which they are doing? Because of the fact that Stanton Witherspoon hiring on payroll and he can't say anything to him, he will just allow him to go and say anything that you want to say to anybody and go. I mean, I think is it when Stanton Witherspoon is speaking, he said, because I'm speaking because I'm supposed to. I'm speaking because I'm allowed to. He's speaking authority. So you think Joseph Boakai will say anything or try to somehow mitigate, try to solve the problem within, the kind of attack and disrespect that Stanton Witherspoon is directing Amarakone? They're getting angry because they feel like Stanton Witherspoon feel like he made Joseph Boakai president. But then for Amarakone to have come in and take the credit for what happened, do you think that could cause Joseph Boakai something? You think Joseph Boakai will do anything to solve the problem?
Mr. Cannon, this is the clear reality. Like Steve said, Amarakone is not the kind of guy you can fight. Amarakone is not a Delon. Amarakone is not Yombly. Amarakone can never be Stanton Witherspoon. Amarakone is one of the most experienced, educated men that Unity Party now have access to, that could be of very great help to them on the international scene. I can speak for the president-elect, Joseph Boakai, because from all instances, the old man has never resolved any kind of, internal wrangling, reaching down from the CPP, to picking a vice presidential candidate, the Rickman role between him and Mr. Comey at the time. So I can't speak for Ambassador Boakai at this moment. But one thing I can tell you is, I think the old man will not want to lose a Amarakone out of his cycle. Because with all of what Stanton is doing, Stanton is due to be in jail by January. Stanton is not a guy who will be bringing investors to the country. And I will tell you this, Joseph Boakai is elected as president of Liberia because the Liberian people say that that's what they want. And Liberia is a sovereign state. But I will tell you this for free, Mr. Kane. Because of old man Joe alignment with Senator Prince Johnson, he doesn't have that kind of relationship with the international community. I don't know since when the vice president went to the US, but I can still remember, if we retrospect vividly, that the vice president will deny US visa to the embassy. The vice president elect now, from the beginning of the campaign. And it's a glaring fact. So losing Amarakone, it will cause the Unity Party big harm. And not just losing him, but using a Stanton Witherspoon to fight Amarakone. Mr. Kane, Amarakone is not the regular guy. I will tell you this for free. Amarakone is not the regular guy that Unity Party want to mess around and think they can get away with it. No. That's something that they will not want to do. So all I can urge the president-elect now is to iron whatever it is that is going on in their inner cycle and focus on what the Liberian people are anticipating. Because with what the big brother said on his page the other time, that Liberians should manage their expectations, Mr. Kane. If you go in the streets of Monrovia in the country, Liberians' expectations are very high. Liberians believe that Omen Joe is experienced. They believe that he's been around. They believe that he has connection. They believe that he's way better than the outgoing president, President George Weah. So Liberians are anticipating that their expectations are very high. They believe that the Unity Party government will deliver. And the Unity Party government will perform the miracle that the CC government could not perform for the past 6 years. So if I with Omen Joe, I would tell the woman, even if you've never done it before, because I don't know any record that a woman has ever said to what kind of internal ranking has been going on. Like I said, yeah. So he needs to settle whatever the problem is and focus on leading the Liberian people after his inauguration and moving this country forward. But fighting Amara Kone is the wrong is one of the wrong move. I don't think Stanton Witherspoon want to.
So why is it the Unity Party people always fighting people that really help make Joseph Baga something? Costa, the one that put life in Joseph Baga political, ambition. Costa,
Right.
CPP first, Costa second.
Second.
And now Amara Kone, the one that gave them the vote. And this guy here, he was so jealous to the extent where he said all those mechanisms were put in place before Amara Kone fired. He gave the credit to somebody else. Try to discredit Amara Kone, making it to look like Amara Kone even lie about what they did in terms of organizing the situation room and some of the things that they did there. Even the investment.
Right.
He tried to make the guy to look like he's a liar. Do you think Stephen Witherspoon will continue to assert himself as a vassal to Joseph Boakai, and Joseph Boakai will sit back and allow this thing to happen and allow Amara Kone to say, you know what, you take your thing, you do whatever you want to do with it. Let me focus on my people of Gwapolu. You think Joseph Boakai will sit there and let that happen?
As a comment, I will tell you this clearly, and I will tell you that Liberian people, if Omejo is now on record for ironing whatever internal wrangling that has been going on with him from his birth, I don't think he will want to lose this opportunity of losing Amara Kone. That's something that I know for sure, because with the Amara Kone coming around or being in the inner cycle of Omejo, it helps him a lot with his international connection. With the international connection Amara Kone get, I challenge none of them that have been around Boakai has that. Not the Moali, not the DeLong. In fact, the senator has been senator for a couple of years, and we've never seen any kind of big difference. Not the DeLong, not the Young Lee. With the kind of international connection and with the kind of influence that Amara Kone will be a very great help to the Joseph Boakai government. And I don't think Omejo will want to lose that other opportunity. This is something I know for sure that he will not want to do. With the expectation that the Liberian people have for Omejo government, I don't think he want to lose Amara Kone, because it will be one of the biggest mistakes he ever made. And I'll tell you this for free. Amara Kone is not a guy, he's not a loud fighter. These are diplomatic people. Amara Kone, they master what they call fight, political fight. You never see Amara Kone acting like a Costa. You never see Amara Kone acting like a DeLong. But these are people who fight you with the connection and with the kind of Amara Kone have connection with a lot of people. Even in the United Party, he has a lot of connection, especially when it comes to the young people. He's contributed to a lot of them. So I don't think Amara Kone will be the guy that Omejo want to lose. Amara Kone is not a guy Omejo will ever want to lose, because none of them have ever been around Omejo as the connection.
But saying nothing and doing nothing would mean what? It means that he doesn't care.
Well, if the Omer will act like, if you will act like as usual in all of the past circumstances that he didn't intervene with a lot of internal wrangling that have causing some damages, then it's at his own detriment. It will be at the detriment of his government, because he need every hand on desk. Mr. Khan, Omejo needs every hand on desk. The CDC government has not done Liberia well. Omejo needs a serious technocrat, not jokers, not people who believe that this is our time? Who believe that because they've been in government for 6 years and they feel that they've been, not treated well by the CDC, or their job has been taken away from them? And so because Omejo is now in power, they can use the opportunity to loot from the Liberian people, or, take a lot from the Liberian people and act like the CDC. Then I can tell you this for free. Then Omejo is bound for failure. He's bound for failure. He's heading for failure. So I don't think he will want to make that mistake. But if he does, Mr. Kane, is like I said, it at the detriment of Omejo leadership for the coming 6 years. So he need to iron whatever it is. There's so much noise in their camp, and I don't think it should be a Stanton Witherspoon talking to a Amara Kane. Because Stanton is no help to Omejo government. In fact, Stanton is depending on the government. He's depending on Omejo government, maybe with the kind of diplomatic tie between America and Liberia, so his time can be reduced, or they might talk to someone who say he can be free. That's why he's depending on. Stanton is not depending on anything. So I don't think there should be a Stanton that should be scaring a Amara Kane that is of value to the president-elect government.
Anyway, we got to leave it there for today. We actually wanted to just go on a little bit after the interview, but now we will leave it there for today, unless you have something else to talk about. But I think we should close for the day. And I want to say thank you again to our folks in Liberia: Golden Heart, Gibson, Saros, Maybon, Kula, Patrick, everybody, Lasana, everybody. I want to say thank you to all of you guys for doing what you're doing. Liberian people are feeling it. They are feeling your presence. They are actually enjoying your work. Keep it up and continue doing what you're doing. We'll be here again tomorrow. Unless you have something else to say. Other than that,
yeah, Mr. Kane, let me just say thank you to the Liberian people. And today, I think you watched the video. You saw some young people, a lot of people from the Boaka camp. They initiate something they call Clean the City campaign. The question is, we don't know how long that's going to stay, but they said they are volunteering. They are using a famous quote from John F. Kennedy that now what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So according to them, they are cleaning the city for 2 days and for Joseph Boaka's birthday, and after that they will clean the city up to the inauguration. And if not, I spoke to some of their leaders. They also said
you should want to be prepared to clean the city even after the inauguration.
Those were the questions. Those were the questions I was asking them.
And tomorrow we saw Chairman Musa Belete and Representative-elect declaring his ambition today to run for the speakership. We'll reach out if we can get him. We'll bring him on to ask him some questions. Yeah, but we'll be discussing that tomorrow as well.
Yeah, so we saw them, and I spoke to some of their leaders, the initiator of the entire program, and they said they are looking forward to working with the city corporation even after the inauguration, to how they can contribute to cleaning up the city all the time for the 6 years. According to them,
most of the people I heard of doing they're doing it so that the president can see them, we can see them, so they can get in position. Wait and see. If someone who put any position, you will see they can kill anything. You see, stupid, nobody stupid. Most of the people, what they're doing, they're not doing it from a genuine standpoint. They're doing it because they want to be seen by the government, by people that will be appointing, so they can see them that these are really working for us. By the end of the day, when the appointment is paid and they don't see their needs, they will say nobody's to pay here. It's in a monkey where bamboo draw. No, they will say, we don't want to be clean the money. But how we can behave in Liberia?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my man. So that man, we're talking about.
So, Mr. Cannon, yeah. So I think that's all. But I can tell you, Mr. Cannon, the expectations of the people are high. So I think let me urge the woman, Joe Parker. He do watch SKTV. So Mr. President elect, do not let Amara go. Amara is one of your assets and value you have now. All of those boys that are around you, none of them can be compared to Amara. So I don't think you will want to lose him. If you never settle any dispute, you need to settle this one and try to work in the interest of the Liberian people, because the CDC has cost our country so much that the people are depending on you to restore all of those things back and face system that will create an enabling environment, especially for the young people, the youth, who are the driving force, of leadership, who are the next generation in line to lead. So those are just my advices to you. You have to do what you have to do and settle whatever is in-house. But Mr. Kane, I can tell you the noise is heavy and the women need to iron that. And losing Amara is a big risk
the American
to
noise,
him.
that's just a piece of the pie, but the noise of opposition is even bigger. We'll talk about those later. So, man.
Yeah, so let me say thank you to our SKTV follower. Continue to support SKTV, continue to follow, continue to share the show. SKTV is still working behind the scene to bring you our own TV and radio station. And you will be proud, our SKTV people, because it's very important. Let me say thanks to Golden Heart. He said, now Golden Heart, my picking. Golden Heart, you receive letter, I boss man. What is Jerry respecting me, Mr. Cannon? You need to tell him that I have boss. Golden Heart. So let me say thanks to Goria. He's a very hard-working young man. Let me say thanks to Patrick, Dixon, Lasana, and all the folks. And to Mr. Cannon, we need to talk behind the scene. The females are too many that keep reaching out.
We got some new people coming on very soon. We got people. We got somebody, one of the seasoned guy from Nimba. We got somebody from Maryland. We are activating all our correspondents and reporters around the country. So we'll make sure we bring you up-to-date information and in real time. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Saros. So, folks, that's it. Thank you so much. We'll be here tomorrow.